Before we jump into today's podcast, we wanted to tell you about a fundraising event that RocketPWR are taking part in. On October 17th in London, RocketPWR take on Battle Cancer. RocketPWR Apparel has up to 3 teams entering this year's event. Battle Cancer is a fundraising campaign that brings the world together through fitness to speed up the progress in life-saving cancer research. Cancer is the second leading cause to death globally. It accounts for 1 in 6 deaths around the world. Each member of the RocketPWR team has been affected by cancer in some way, shape or form. We are asking you to help us reach our desired goal by donating what you can. Our goal is £3,500. That seems a lot, but let me put that into perspective for you. If each of our Instagram followers donate £1 as of recording this, we can raise £3,525, which is a significant amount that will go a long way to supporting the cause. The total amount raised will be split between each athlete's chosen cancer charities. On behalf of RocketPWR Apparel, thank you in advance. On today's episode, we sit down and talk with Josh Telling, a friend of RocketPWR. Josh is the owner of Fortitude, which is a functional fitness gym based in Lydney, Gloucestershire. Since opening Fortitude, Josh has expanded and opened Wildboard Weightlifting. Fortitude and Wildboard Weightlifting are both positively thriving even through the tough times of this current pandemic. We wanted to sit and speak with Josh to see how he has kept his members in high spirits and how the community has grown even closer during this time. Hello and welcome onto the RocketPWR podcast. Firstly, let me thank you for taking your time to sit down with us. How are you keeping during this time?
I'm good, or as good as we can be during this time. So yeah, just trying to keep myself ticking over, keep myself busy. But no, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I am very well. Exactly the same as you, just keeping busy. We're going to start the podcast off with a little bit of fun. So for the people that are listening, I text Josh about 10 minutes before this podcast asking if he likes burgers. He had no idea what was going on or what question is about to come. So we're going to start the podcast with a little bit of fun. As I said, it's called Podium Picks. I'll give you a category. You can already tell which category we're going with or subject. And then all you have to do in CrossFit Games fashion is rank your third, second, first and a spirit of the games. Your subject is burger toppings. So you have a standard beef burger. This could potentially be a cheeseburger if you want, so then you don't have to add cheese as one of your toppings. Your spirit of the games award is going to go to your sauce choice if you're opting for sauce. How are you making your beef burger better?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Let's go for why as well.
First one would probably be a double patty, so I'd probably double up on the size of the burger straight away. That would be my top choice. Because I'm greedy and I love burgers with lots of beef in.
I was going to say, would it be beef or would it be a chicken burger you're going with?
It would be double beef patty.
Double beef all day long.
Yeah, 100%. Then I'd have a burger sauce on there. And then I'm pretty some bacon on there as well. So I'll have bacon, cheese, and beef, burger sauce, some mayo, and then I think that's I'm pretty plain with the burger, some lettuce and stuff on there as well. But yeah, no onions. I'm not a fan of onions or gherkins.
It sounds like a Five Guys order, although there are other burger venues available if you choose to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
I wanted to get you onto the podcast ultimately to talk about the current situation and how you've been dealing with the ongoing situation as a gym owner. It will make more sense if we start at the beginning, so that's what we're going to do. Gyms closed in the UK, I believe, on March 20th, which was a Friday evening. Can you tell us about your first reaction to having to close the gym doors for the foreseeable future without a reopen date announced?
So we kind of preempted that Friday about a week before. So we kind of, us and the team had been chatting about what we could do and sort of speaking with a few people I know, and so we'd made a plan to kind of take our delivery of sessions and look after our guys online, as essentially, we want to look after the people that have given their trust to us and so forth anyway. So we preempted it about a week before, and obviously it happened on the Friday. So we kind of just, communicated everything step by step with the members. We'd already done some practice using Zoom. So we did a sort of trial session with members, and also our coaches had a chance to have a little play with it as well, because that was the kind of formatting of the delivery of our sessions. So we'd had a little bit of insight into that. And I guess, from there, it's just been adapting and trying to solve problems that occurred in the interim, and trying to do the best we can with what we have available to us right now.
We do touch upon the Zoom remote coaching sessions a little later on in the podcast, but briefly, you spoke about your members. Both Fortitude and Wildboard Weightlifting have an incredible community within them. How did you relay the messages to your members, as it was so sudden from the government's message to that we were actually closing, and what were your members' reactions?
So we relayed everything via sort of Facebook and email communication to members not on Facebook, and we just basically explained the uncertainty and the stuff that we knew and the stuff that we weren't sure of, and then basically we're just openly honest with them and sort of pleaded to them to stick with us, and sort of said that we do the best we can to stick by them. And fortunately, we've had a lot of support from the guys, and we're very, very lucky to have a very special group of people that we work with and alongside every day.
You do have a very special community. Were you overwhelmed with the response from your community that they wanted to stick with you and that they wanted to continue to pay and help you kind of still grow in this time as a business, as a gym, and as a person, I guess? Yeah,
definitely. I think the community overwhelms me quite a lot. I don't really show much of that at all, or and so forth. But yeah, absolutely. It's amazing that we've managed to maintain the support we've had, and we're eternally grateful to these guys, and want to repay them, and we thank them all the time for what they've done for us. That's for sure.
Gyms were made aware that we would have to potentially close. Some people took it seriously and made contingency plans. You said you have. Others not so seriously. Knowing the gyms may have to close, I know that you tested remote coaching via Zoom many times to make sure it worked seamlessly before putting it live to your members. Can you tell us about these plans amongst other plans and the hiccups that you come across and that you overcome within the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, formatting things, so how we got our guys to book in and delivered the link to Zoom sessions, especially with some guys on Facebook, some guys only available through sort of email contact. And then the issue, if you're not even friends with them, how do you get them a link to join a session? So having to integrate Zoom within our sort of current booking system was a first issue. Communicating messages to members not on Facebook was an issue. Facebook's quite easy because we've got everyone on there, but obviously not everyone uses Facebook that we work with. So that was another kind of barrier we had to put in place quite quickly. Obviously programming, so delivering body weight friendly sessions, and then to people with varying needs, varying abilities and stuff as well. And obviously the different programs that we run at Fortitude and with Wildboard, sending out equipment and deciding how we were going to go about loaning kit out, what the rounds of it were and how much we gave to people and so forth. There was lots of stuff that we were kind of mulling over as a team to get right, so we could do the best we could by our guys, that's for sure.
Did you have any ideas or plans that you thought about in the beginning that were potentially going to be these great ideas and then scrapped just because they weren't actually as good as you thought they were going to be?
Cool, that's quite a tough one. I guess things like the equipment delivery, I thought would be, I guess in some ways a little bit naive, thinking, oh, brilliant, everyone's got a gym at home, they're going to be absolutely fine. They're not going to, they're going to train every day. They've got this time. They're going to be great. When the reality of that is very, very different. It's a lot harder to train at home than in the gym. It's a lot harder to train over Zoom than in the gym. So there was some barriers that we faced that were tougher than we preempted, and delivering coaching sessions via Zoom probably a bit harder than we anticipated, with people's Wi-Fi connections and your own Wi-Fi connections and everything else. Definitely.
And it kind of gives you another a kind of grasp on coaching and how much you actually use your hands within the gym to put your hands, or ask to put your hands on people and put them in the correct position. With being in the same position as you, it has been harder to kind of make sure people are using correct form over Zoom than it would be in the coaching space.
Definitely, we've got a newfound appreciation for external coaching cues. So, getting people to squeeze their butt, getting them to pretend they've got a lottery ticket between their butt cheeks, and using things like that to communicate what we mean and stuff has been fun and a different sort of challenge. But I think overall it will improve our coaching as a team and our delivery of sessions, which is exciting, I guess.
With the uncertainty of when gyms will reopen and we get further and further into quarantine period, you've done even more for your members to keep them engaged. I'm going to reel off a few now, as I want to showcase how incredible you as an owner have been during this situation, and the amazing team you have by your side that have made these things happen. You do a weekly virtual quiz which sees a lot of your members come together online. You have done informative talks on specific subjects from strength, nutrition, sleep, and everything in between. Interactive videos on why staying active is important. You do your Fortitude weekly, keeping your members up to date as much as you can, being open and honest. Adding additional classes to your schedule, such as barbell broomstick classes. You've also created a strength and conditioning program for your members, with every exercise having its own demo video that is being recorded by yourself. Although gyms have been closed, it seems that you've been working harder and harder and doing even more than when gyms were open. The online presence of your members would seem that they are thriving, even in this current situation. I think I can say with certainty that your community has grown even closer during these times. Can you tell me how your members are dealing with it and their current feelings?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we've been desperately trying to work hard. I don't think I'm the type of person that could sit back and relax, really. So I enjoy working and building out these different bits and pieces and elements of the business that this kind of challenge has brought us. But yeah, it's definitely tough from, like, we've noticed we have lots of conversations with people all the time about how people have struggled with their training and with their motivation in particular, because of that lack of environment and lack of atmosphere that you have when you're training with your mates, or what it's like when you turn up to train, you don't really want to train, but when you've got people there, it's infectious and it just makes you train anyway, and you likely have a better session than you thought anyway. So that's been tough, and it's kind of, I guess, for us, trying to make them understand that that's okay, and that you're not probably going to come out of this in the best shape of your life, and that's fine. But doing a little bit and getting moving and enjoying some training to keep yourself in a good place mentally is the most important thing that should come out of this. And yeah, it's kind of echoing those messages to members, really, and getting them to not beat themselves up so much, because I know do it myself, and a lot of us do, where we tend to get on our own backs and get in our own heads a lot about stuff.
Have you had any members that are still in the situation where they're finding it really hard to get back into training?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got plenty of members that we're really trying to work closely with to keep them engaged and keep them motivated, because of lots of different things, not just the removal of training environment, but work stresses, other life stresses have come into play and stuff. So yeah, absolutely, it's an ongoing thing for us that we're trying to help our members with.
With some of the lists that I reeled off, such as your pub quizzes, informative talks, so on and so forth, this is something that you would have done as a gym. Even in the open space, you would have had people come in and held your classes. Has it been much different to try to do these online than it is in person?
Yeah, it's definitely different online. I quite enjoy doing the quiz online, because if I make a bit of an error or a spelling mistake, I can't get heckled because everyone's muted on Zoom. But no, I enjoy doing stuff like that, and it's been so nice to have these social interactions in a non-workout environment, because we enjoy doing that anyway. Sort of like you said, when we're facing each other and allowed to kind of be in person together. So it's been really nice to emulate that and simulate that. with our community, and it definitely has brought us closer together. And it's, the online delivery is nice. It is really nice being able to sit at home, not in the gym in the freezing cold in the winter, and do stuff like that. So that's quite nice. But yeah, definitely.
We may be able to come back together sooner rather than later, as it's been announced that gyms could go back as early as July the 4th, which many people have been waiting for. But for you as an owner and for coaches, this brings a lot of red tape and procedures put in place to follow. Have you started thinking about how this may look for you, Fortitude, Wildboard?
Yeah, absolutely. So I meet with our team twice a week. They've been fantastic during this time. So we're in regular contact, sort of, to go through this kind of stuff. And at the moment, we've actually just met today, but we're sort of going through how we want things to be when we get back, looking at our delivery, looking at our every single process that we have in the gym, and stuff, and how that's going to need to be adjusted based on what we think is going to happen. So obviously looking at our space and how we can divide it up, if we've got to maintain some form of social distance, which is likely, how we're going to share kit around, how we're going to sanitize it and keep it clean, and then how we're going to operate in terms of running 2 sessions at a time, with you having to utilize both entrances and so forth as well, to kind of keep people away from each other in some respects.
I think we've covered almost everything that I wanted to go over, so I feel that it's a pretty good time to wrap up the podcast. But first, is there anything that you would like to add before we let you go?
No, like I said, I guess if there's any like gym owners or coaches, I guess, that are watching this, I think, I feel the same as most people do, in that, we're trying to sort of do our best with what we can, but can't help but feel like we cannot do our best for other people, that we as best as we want to do for them, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So making sure that we're just doing the best we can with what we have available to us, and not fretting over the things we can't control. So actually looking at, okay, how can we serve the people, our community, best, without, with the stuff where we wouldn't normally be able to serve them with the in-person stuff. So yeah, just looking at how we can do the best with what we have right now, rather than dwelling on what we can't offer them at the moment.
Thank you. And again, thank you for joining us on this podcast. And we appreciate your time, as we understand it at the moment more than ever. It's extremely valuable. And as I said before, I really just wanted to showcase you as a gym owner, your team, and what you've done for your community. And as an onlooker looking in, it really does seem like you're thriving through these times. And I wish you the best of luck coming out the other end of it.
Oh, thank you very much, Craig. And I hope, obviously, you guys come back strong as well, and when you get back to being together. So it'd be great for us to get back together in the future, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Again, thank you for your time, Josh, and I'll speak to you soon.
No worries, Craig. Thank you very much.